Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It is, I am Deb. I am one of your coaches hosting this Made for More group. And I am so excited that you said yes to being part of this and are curious about what we coaches do. So I wanted to share my story into who I was before coaching and why I coach and why I love coaching. And I'm very nervous, so bear with me. I love that this is a closed group and that it's casual, like Mindy kept saying yesterday, totally casual, because I'm very nervous and I have notes. So a little bit about me. I live in Wisconsin. I am married to Gary, my husband of almost 22 years now. We have 3 kids. They are all teenagers. One just finished her freshman year in college. I have a sophomore. And then I've got my baby is finishing up 8th grade and heading to high school next year. So we're looking at empty nest in a few years, and it's a little bit scary. I also have a bonus child, and she is going to be 34, and I have a grandson, and he is awesome. He's 2.5. So we've got kind of the whole spectrum, old kids, babies, everything. A little bit about me before Beachbody. I was in advertising for 10 years. I was an account executive and I loved my job. But when we had our second baby, it was always my dream to stay home full time with the kids. And so at that point, we were able to retire me so that I could do that. And it worked best for our family, just the flexibility of me being home. I wanted to raise our kids, and it helped. My husband traveled a lot, so it was a really good call for our family. But as everybody knows, kids grow up and need you a little bit less. So all of a sudden, 2.5 years ago, I was 43, and my kids were older and not at home during the day anymore, but I wanted to still have the flexibility of being able to take them to school, pick them up after school, take them to practice, know what they were doing, who their friends were, volunteer at school, chaperone field trips. I wanted that flexibility. I also wanted to be flexible at home to keep up our home. Like I said, my husband did a lot of traveling, and a lot of the housework and homemaking fell on me as well. And that's okay, that worked for us. But here I was at home all day, and people starting to say, don't you want to find a hobby? Or, my husband saying, because I was feeling lost. I was looking for more. I wanted more. I wanted another purpose. I wanted to fill my days with something that lit me up and got me excited, so that when we went on dates, my husband and I didn't just sit there and go, what should I talk about besides the kids? And he would encourage me, find something you love, try different stuff. I just didn't know where to start. So anyway, 2.5 years ago, I'm 43. I'm facing this whole and feeling pretty lost. And in that same time period, my husband, we had been raising a very spirited child for about 13 years. So I was emotionally exhausted. My husband was then diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disease that affected him very much physically. And I had to take over his roles and responsibilities in our family and home within about a week's time. And I was physically exhausted. And then on top of that, my girls were diagnosed with celiac disease, which probably wouldn't have been a big deal. But on top of everything else, I was just overwhelmed. And I was exhausted, tired. Looking back, I'm sure I was depressed. I just felt like everything was on me. And I was losing who I was, and I wasn't fun, and I wasn't happy. On top of that, because of these struggles, I was eating like crap. I was picking up some bad habits. I wasn't working out or exercising. So it was the first time that I remember that summer I was really embarrassed in my swimsuit. And it's me, people would look at my picture and go, oh, I'd kill for that. But, women, especially, we're really hard on ourselves. And I was embarrassed in some of my clothes, and I was uncomfortable, and I was embarrassed I was uncomfortable even being intimate with my husband because I felt so little about myself. So I was pretty low. So how did I get started? I had a friend who started as a coach, very good friend. And she knew what I was going through. And so she reached out to me and she said, you know what, Deb, why don't you try these shakes that I'm starting to use? See, I think they could help you, at least because I was skipping meals. So she said, I think they could help your nutrition. Why don't you give them a try? And then on top of it, you complain about not being in shape. So I'm selling these workout programs. And back then they were on DVDs. So she said, why don't you give one of these a try? So to be a good friend, because I totally did not believe in myself, not at all. But to be a good friend, I said, all right, I'm kind of skeptical about a shake, okay, a protein shake, I'm drinking my meals, all right, they're kind of pricey, but I'm going to be a good friend, I'm going to support you, I'll invest in your business, sure, sign me up. And then on top of it, so I signed up for one DVD set, which was PiYo. I signed up for Shakeology, 1 month of Shakeology, and they got me to buy a 3-day refresh at the end. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to start with a clean slate, detox my system, let's do this. So October 31st, I remember because it was Halloween, I started my 3-day refresh. And can I just say, I lost 8 pounds with my 3-day refresh. Now that is not a woohoo because that is not typical. That just tells you how bad of shape my body, my gut was in and what it needed to be detoxed. And it was a huge eye-opener for me about nutrition and how badly I was eating and fueling my own body. I was so worried about my family and so concerned with making sure they were all okay, but I was not paying attention to myself. So join these, then on top of it, so I'm doing the shakes, I'm working out to PiYo, and I'm part of these accountability groups. People care that I'm showing up, and I didn't even chime in for the first probably couple weeks. But I loved reading about other people and what they were struggling with, and I could identify. And pretty soon I was chiming in, I was meeting people. I had this friend group, and after the first month, I had lost weight. My clothes were fitting better. I had exercised consistently. My family was seeing that I was eating better, and I was happier and had more energy. So let me tell you, that was huge for me. I finally saw this light. So I gave it another month. My friend noticed that I was happier. She saw that I was seeing success and results. And she also saw that I was engaging in the groups. And I had a knack for cheering on other people because I'm a mom and I'm good at cheering people on. So she broached the subject with me, asked if I would consider coaching. She said, I really think that there's people out there you could support and encourage. You are willing to share your story. Would you consider coaching and doing this with me? Because we're friends. It would be fun. I was flattered, really flattered, because somebody noticed me, but I was very nervous. And I had some hesitation. So what held me back at first? One was I had no social media experience, none at all. In fact, when I started talking about this with my mom, her first words were, be careful how much you share out there. And I wouldn't put too much out there for the public. And that's social media. Everybody's going to know everything. And I don't even, why would people care what you're going to say, Deb? There's so many people out there. I'm just uncomfortable with this. So that was a little thing in my head. So I was very nervous about social media and how would I even start this? But I didn't have to worry about it because on my immediate team and on our broader, bigger team, I had plenty of people who told me how to post, gave me examples of what to post, gave me time frames of when the best times are to put your post out. And on top of that, they let me go at my own pace. I mean, they encouraged me to go outside my comfort zone, but I was not sharing sweaty selfies. I was not sharing before and afters. I wasn't in a swimsuit. It was like, here's my salad I made today. Oh, I'm so proud of myself. Or here I'm out walking my dog. I'm getting some exercise. It was such baby steps, but I got help to do that. My second one was, I'm not a fitness person, not at all. I eat like crap, or I had been. People know that. They know I'm not a fitness person, and I love my wine. Who's going to listen to me? Shocker, that's what real people want. They want real people to talk to. It is intimidating to see perfection. So if you struggle with your goal weight, if you struggle with bad habits, if you struggle with getting your exercise in, that is normal. And people relate to normal. They want somebody that they can see themselves in and say, okay, if she can do it, and she likes wine, and she likes big prime rib steak, and she doesn't really like to exercise, but she's getting it done. If she can do it, I can do it. That is what I learned, and that is what I tried to convey. I am not perfect. I'm a real life girl who still loves living life, but I make better choices, and I found fitness and nutrition that works for me. Another hesitation was, how would I juggle coaching with my family life? My family was very used to me being at their beck and call 100% of the time. So this would be a big change for our family unit, and it was, and it took some getting used to, and it took some compromise. But the joy of this business is that it's your business. It's my business. So it fits in my schedule. When I say I have time, it fits around my kids' games. It fits around family vacations, but it can come on family vacations because I can do it from anywhere. Some of my best power hours or best work times come from 5:30 in the morning till 5:30 till 6:30 in the morning before everyone wakes up. Sitting in the car waiting for my daughter to get out of school or to get done with practice. I can check in on groups and I can follow up with people. Sitting in the bleachers at games during halftime, before games, after games, I can easily do follow-ups and contact people. And sometimes at night, if everybody's kind of caught up in their own stuff, I can hop back on for a half hour or an hour and crank out some invites or work on my business. But so some days I have 1 or 2 hours, and some days I have 5 hours. It really is up to me. My business has gone to Italy with me and my husband. My business goes up to our lake cottage with me during the summer. My business goes on family vacations. It goes to basketball tournaments. It's completely my own hours. I don't have to ask anybody permission. That is the beauty of it. So it does work with my family because I'm still there for them, and I can fit this in around them. So to kind of wrap this up, what has coaching done for me? It's changed my life. It really, really has. My transformation is not physical necessarily, although I have lost like 8 pounds and a number of inches in my clothes. I can fit back into clothes that I couldn't, 2 years ago. But it's been emotional, and it's been mental. It's been confidence. It's been happiness. It's been fulfillment. That's what it's done for me. It has given me freedom. It's given me freedom from my limiting beliefs and insecurities. It's given me freedom from my feelings of valuelessness. Is that a word? I don't know. I felt very undervalued and underappreciated. Now I see my value, and it excites me. It's given me freedom from bad habits, and freedom to own my own business and be proud of it, but still be a mom and a wife and a sister and a daughter and a friend and a volunteer and all the other things that make me up. So why do I coach? I coach, one, for my own ongoing accountability, my own health and fitness accountability, long-term. I say to anybody who asks, the products are awesome. They're total high quality. Wouldn't trade them for anything, but it's the accountability groups that keep me showing up. If I didn't have my tribe and my groups, I would not continue to show up and be consistent for myself. So for me, coaching ensures that long-term, I stay on track. 2, I have my own thing. I found my purpose. I found something that lights me up and makes me passionate. And that's meeting other people and encouraging them and helping them and watching them find joy again. 3 is really just to do good, to use my talents that God's given me and pay it forward and use those talents to do good and to help other people. So that is my coaching journey in a nutshell. If you have any questions, drop them below. If anything spoke to you, I'd love to hear it. Can you relate to my story at all? Anything jump out at you? I would really love to hear it. So again, thank you all for being part of this. This is really exciting. It's our first Made for More group, and we really appreciate everybody tuning in. Have a wonderful afternoon.